This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Uncle Fulio, and I'm hosting the pregame show again for Sim, who's currently on vacation right now. Welcome to the game preview. Tonight, the New York Knicks take on the Indiana Pacers live from Madison Square Garden tonight at 7 p.m. So we're gonna break down this game, talk about the team a little bit, what our expectations are, our keys to the game, also the starting lineups. As always, please hit that like and subscribe button to be notified of any new content that Nothing But Knicks has for you, whether it be Queen's Court, whether it be the controversy, all the pregame and postgame analysis that we do. Make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified about all of that. So I'm gonna get the panel in here with me. I got my man Andy, Tony Crow, and the Queen Steph of the Queen's Court. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good, Josh.
Good. So we're gonna break this game down. I know the Knicks are 5-2 right now. They take on the 2-6 Indiana Pacers. We still do expect it to be a tough matchup. Off the bat, Queen, give me some of your thoughts on what you expect from this game tonight.
I expect it to be a tough game. I don't have their defensive rating right in front of us, but I think it's pretty good. So they're going to be a tough, gritty defensive team. Caris LeVert is back. That bodes well for them. Their rookie Duarte is playing very well. And then they got Miles Turner and they got Sabonis, who's a tough matchup. I think the Knicks can win. Which Knicks team shows up, though? So if the Knicks are on all cylinders, I think we win this game. It's always an interesting matchup. I know we'll talk about it later between Sabonis and Randle. If it's the Randle of the last 2 games, Sabonis is going to just eat him alive. But if he's back and his head is in the game and he's playing and he's Randle, he should edge out Sabonis. Edge. So, it should be a good game.
Gotcha. Andy, what's up?
Yeah, what up? What up, Josh? Listen, first thing off, I want to, get something off my chest. You ain't no Lance Stevenson. You ain't born ready for this, but you're the closest we have after Sim. So I'm happy we finally got on almost an hour late, but we're here, man. So, going back to the Pacers. Listen, it's like you guys said, Caris LeVert is back. Duarte is playing great basketball, and they are really using him. He's, one thing that he's efficient, but they're not afraid to, give him the ball and let him play.
Right.
I'm not sure if Brogdon is going to be back for this game because they were, mixed reports. Yeah, because first, and I saw like he's not gonna be here, then he's gonna be here. So, but like Steph said, plenty of this game depends on Randle, and I hope his head is in the game. He's not, looking around the court, whatever, just plays great basketball as we know he can. And let's just play team ball and get this W and treat this game like a revenge game after that, the last game that we, basically lost by ourselves. So,
right.
Gotcha. Absolutely. What's up, Tone?
What's going on? Shout out to the chat, the panel. Yo, Black is time. I agree with you guys. I think it's gonna be a tough game. It's not going to be a walkthrough. I think they're better than their record reflects. They're more at full strength now with LeVert. Duarte is looking not like a rookie at all. So, and then you got the personal matchup with Randle and Sabonis. They went at it hard last year with the whole fighting for that All-Star bid. And, they just battled each other every game they played. I expect that to continue. One thing I will say about Randle is he usually gets up for personal matchups. And I think this is one for him. So I'm looking forward to a good game.
Absolutely, and the Indiana Pacers, even though they're 2-6 or whatever the case may be, they lost to some tough teams. They lost to Brooklyn. They lost to the Raptors, who we now know is a very, very tough team. You don't want to sleep on the Raptors. They lost to Miami. They lost to Charlotte. They lost to Milwaukee. So they have some quality losses, if you will, on the schedule. So we can't take them lightly for sure. I definitely agree with that. The record really doesn't tell the whole tale. In this case, right now, the Knicks are kind of, I don't want to say struggling, but we're not playing our best basketball right now. And we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit more. The Pacers, they've lost some close games to some formidable foes, if you will, in the Eastern Conference. So it's going to be a really good matchup for us for sure. I think we still have the advantage, but we can't take this team lightly, as everyone is saying. But I do want to bring up the starting lineups in this game, and we're going to break down the matchups. I know it's not Sim's normal graphic. I had to put this together on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. So just bear with me. But I just put this together real quick. This is going to be the starting lineups for both teams. Kemba Walker and Malcolm Brogdon. Let's talk about that matchup for a second. Queen, what are your thoughts on that matchup right there?
Brogdon is a big guard. I think he's 6'3", 6'4". He's not very quick, but he's strong. So I think that he could possibly give Kemba problems. I don't think Kemba's playing very well, but he's not lightning quick, right? So he can, with his length and his stockiness, he can potentially give Kemba problems. Now he's been injured. I'm looking at the injury. This was from yesterday. I'm looking at the injury report, November 2nd. Brogdon, that he feels good and that he'll play Wednesday. I'm gonna give the slight edge to Brogdon. I'm gonna give the edge to Brog with his stockiness, with his length. I think he's gonna create problems for Kemba.
All right, Tony, what you got?
I call it a wash right now. Coming back from the injury, maybe not having his legs fully under him. And Kemba, he's kind of been on a good stretch, a good run of games that, the past 3 games or so. So yeah, actually maybe I'll switch it. I'm gonna give Kemba the advantage. I'm gonna say he continues his good play tonight, and maybe even showcases a little bit more.
Andy?
Yeah, listen, I think it's going to be pretty even on this matchup because Brogdon is, like Tony said, he's after the injury, so I think the conditioning might not be fully there, but he's playing great fundamental basketball, so he doesn't have to always play 100% to be effective on the court. So it's going to be a hard matchup for Kemba, definitely, because he's also bigger, like Steph said.
Yeah, definitely. Michael Brogdon is definitely the bigger guard. We know what he can do on defense. He can definitely knock down the 3-point shot, which the Knicks, that's still a struggle for this team. They had a lot of wide open 3-pointers that they gave up the last game, and I don't think it was attributed to the scheme per se, because we know Tom Thibodeau likes, he would rather give up long jump shots, but the way guys were just wide open in the last game, it was just, definitely eye-opening for sure. And I think Malcolm Brogdon can be someone that potentially can hurt us this game with his 3-ball. And we know what he can do on defense already. He's one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, no question. So it's going to be a tough matchup for sure. But let's move on to the shooting guard matchup. You got Chris Duarte versus Evan Fournier. I'm going to go first with this particular one. Duarte, definitely another guy who can shoot. And Evan Fournier, Evan Fournier can definitely win this matchup because of the experience. But, Chris Duarte is another guy. I know the Knicks were thinking about drafting this guy. This guy is a flat out shooter. So we can't leave him open. Evan Fournier is definitely going to have to be able to guard Chris Duarte coming off screens, as well as off the wing, because Chris Duarte is definitely one of the best young shooters from this past rookie class. Tony, tell me about this matchup and what you think about it.
It's funny. I'm gonna give the advantage to Fournier just because of experience and he's been here before. He's been in the league a couple years now. But Duarte is super confident right now. He's playing well. I think it's almost like a mirror match with this particular matchup. Both kind of good shooters, can do a lot offensively. But I'm gonna give this particular matchup to Fournier. I think he's not gonna want a rookie to embarrass him or you know what I mean, just go off on him. And they, I think he's gonna see himself in Duarte and be like, all right, let me show him he's still got some things to learn about the NBA. So hopefully he gets a welcome to the league moment.
Gotcha. Steph?
I agree with Tony. I'm going to give the edge to Fournier for experience, but he can't sleep because Duarte doesn't shoot. He can also put the ball on the floor. He can also play make a little bit. So he's not one dimensional. So Fournier is going to have his handful, defensively in terms of guarding the shot, guarding the drive, and having his hands in the passing lane. But in terms of experience, I'll give it to Fournier. Fournier, he's 6'6", 6'7",
Yeah.
but everybody just seems bigger than him. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I'll give him the edge.
Gotcha. And Andy, this is your guy right here, Evan Fournier.
Yeah. I'm just hoping he has, like Tony said, that he's just gonna try to punk, Duarte, but Duarte ain't one of those rookies that you can punk. For one thing, he's an older rookie, right? So
Yes.
he had the experience in college, and like Tony said, also he's mega confident. You can see in his game that he's playing like a vet almost. So this might be a tricky matchup, but then again, I hope Fournier sees that ball go through the hoop early and is ready to cook the rookie.
Gotcha. I totally agree with that. We definitely got to get Evan Fournier going. To me, our offense just seems to have slowed up a little bit. I don't know what it is. In the preseason, we were getting a lot more shots earlier in the shot clock, but for some reason, we just have been a slow team. We don't get out in transition much anymore. So I'm looking forward to Evan Fournier kind of knocking down those shots whenever those opportunities are there to do so.
Hey, real quick, Josh.
Go ahead, Tony.
We played them in preseason twice or once.
No, once.
Look out for that too. Maybe them having some sort of adjustment advantage early, where we won that game, so it's less for us to adjust to. They kind of, you know what I mean. So just look out for that early.
Definitely. They have Rick Carlisle, new head coach there. Yeah. Definitely a very experienced coach. He's a champion. So he definitely can make adjustments with the best of them. Next matchup we're going to talk about is RJ Barrett versus Caris LeVert. I'm not going to go first. I'm going to have Queen go first because I know she has to get out of here soon. But Queen, tell me about this matchup between RJ and Caris LeVert.
I think it's going to be a good matchup. Now, Caris has only been back maybe one game, maybe one or two games. He was out to start the season, so he may still be rounding into shape, though I think he played pretty well the last game. RJ seems to be rounding into his own, right? The past two games, just in terms of not just his stats, but how he's getting his points, when he's getting his points. So he's rounding into shape. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, in my opinion. I'm going to give the edge to RJ only because he's hot, he's confident, and LeVert is just coming back from injury.
Gotcha. Andy?
Yeah, I totally agree with Steph. It's nothing more than I can say. Listen, we also don't know which Caris LeVert is going to show, after the injury. Before the injury, we know that he was, majorly athletically, playing on the court. So, and after the injury, you never know if it's going to be, the post-injury Victor Oladipo type of a player, or he's going to be himself, like before the injury. So this is an interesting, matchup, like you said. But if it would be, if you would ask me this guy or this guy, I'm taking RJ on this one.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Tony?
I agree. All across the board, RJ. I go with RJ tonight. It's a tough matchup though. I like that he's gonna have to still work hard on the defensive end. So I definitely like that. But the strength, I think RJ's strength is gonna be the true advantage tonight. In this particular matchup. As long as he locks in defensively, I think he wins overall.
Gotcha. I think it's clean sweep for me. I'm going to go RJ Barrett as well. I think RJ Barrett is playing very, very hot right now. Very confident in his ability to take guys one-on-one, take guys off the dribble, and it just looked like he's really forming into a different kind of player. But last season it was more catch and shoot. It was RJ kind of playing his role within the offense. Let me not say role and RJ in the same sentence. Let me not do that. Now RJ Barrett is definitely becoming more confident. He's trying to put the league on notice that he is he deserves to be put in that conversation with some of the other guys in the NBA, the young guys in the NBA, under 25 lists and all of that stuff. So I'm going to go RJ Barrett with this matchup. He absolutely feasts against the Indiana Pacers. I think he has some of his best. I think the Indiana Pacers is probably he has his best games against them. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I was reading something today that says so. So I expect RJ Barrett to feast as usual and keep his hot streak going. The next matchup we're going to talk about is Julius Randle versus Domantas Sabonis. Both of these guys, all-star players, all NBA caliber players. Julius Randle has been struggling recently, and he's going up against Sabonis, who has known to give Julius Randle some fits in the past. So who do you guys think is going to win this matchup right here? And talk about it a little bit. I'm going to go back to Queen.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get through this segment. Listen. This is a tough matchup, somewhat even from game, from game to game, depending on how well each one is playing. I mean, Sabonis wasn't second team All NBA, but he is a load, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can score inside. He's very good on the offensive and defensive rebounds. So he can give Randle the business. But which Randle are we talking about? If we're talking about the Randle we know, to me, Randle is a beast, and I think he's a difficult cover. He could play inside, he could play outside, he could shoot the three. I think he makes it difficult for Sabonis. I would give Randle the edge. The last two games, I'm not even talking about Randle's game. The last two games, he just hasn't seemed engaged, not taking enough shots, in my opinion, even though some fans may think that's okay. And not really involved in the offense. That type of Randle, those two games where he's not engaged or involved, Sabonis wins easily.
Gotcha. Andy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Sabonis on this one. One is, like Steph said, Randle's head is not in the game last two games. And, unless he proves us something else, it's going to be hard for us to believe. And even if they both were fully engaged, fully healthy, and stuff like that, that's a hard matchup. These guys play, more similar basketball than most of the fans think. They can go under the hoop. They're crafty around the rim. They can take a shot from far away. They're really similar players. The rebounding, also positioning on rebounding, is really important in this matchup. But like Steph said, it depends what Randle, which Randle shows up. So I'm gonna go with the safer pick with Sabonis on this one.
Interesting. Okay, Tony.
All right, man. It's a tough matchup. Like I said in the beginning, they always battling each other throughout his tenure as a Knick, Julius Randle's tenure as a Knick. That's the guy who I think has always been right there with him, battling. I think they have something personal, like on the court, like they have their own little personal rivalry. But all that being said, I think Randle gets up for this game. So I think he's gonna have to be the Randle of last year, but I think he does tonight at least, and I think he wins this matchup tonight.
So for me, to me, I'm going to say Julius Randle wins this matchup. I think it is going to be a tough matchup for sure, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination just dismissing Sabonis. I think he's a great player. One of the best power forwards in the NBA, if you look at in the Eastern Conference at least. But he's not better than Julius Randle, in my opinion. I do understand Julius Randle has been out of the game mentally, but I've been taking a lot of heat all day on the Julius Randle thing, on Twitter. You know what I mean? Because I personally feel like fans are just giving up on Julius Randle so easily. It's only 7 games into the season. I understand that the last 2 games he wasn't really mentally in it or whatever, but one, if you look at the stat lines or whatever the case may be, Julius Randle's still producing. He doesn't necessarily have to score to be able to produce. He still gets his rebounds, still gets his assists. And I think the reason why other players on the Knicks are so successful and so open is because Julius Randle is still able to draw the double team, right? So even though he's not mentally engaged or what have you, he's still a huge threat out there on the floor. And if people are unhappy, I guess, with the way Julius Randle's been playing, the last couple games or whatever the case may be, imagine if Julius Randle was mentally engaged, what type of numbers he'll be putting up. You know what I mean? So I just think people are giving up on Randle too easily. I definitely would like to see Randle get down in the post a little bit more, in the low post, and try to go to work down there. I think over the past couple seasons, he's become too much of a perimeter player, in my opinion. I think he can win a lot of those matchups, but now with RJ taking that next step into becoming a really good perimeter player, you have Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. I just like to see Randle get down in the paint a little bit more, try to draw some fouls, get back to the free throw line and get into that groove a little bit. He can obviously step out and knock down some 3-point shots and take guys off the dribble, but I just would rather see him get down in the paint a little bit more and go to work down there because he's a strong dude, right? And players have to foul him. You can't, straight up guard Julius Randle one-on-one. So I would like to see him get down in the paint a little bit more. That's just my opinion on how I see that. And finally, with the last matchup, we're going to talk about Mitchell Robinson versus Miles Turner. Mitchell Robinson versus Miles Turner, the coveted Miles Turner that a lot of Knicks fans want to go out and go get. Queen, I'm going to start with you in regards to this matchup right here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry I won't be able to hang around and hear the rest of you guys' takes. I want to pick Mitch. I don't think Mitch is 100%. I don't think he's where we need him. Not necessarily where we need him to be. I think there's another level that Mitchell Robinson can play at. But right now, I think he's playing okay. I do. Miles Turner, when you look at his stats, I haven't watched a lot of their games, but when you look at his stats, they're not that great. So I think Mitch wins this battle. I think, Mitch will out-rebound him. I don't think Miles Turner is a great rebounder. I think Mitch will be able to, contest his 3-point shooting. It's just a matter of getting out there. He doesn't have to worry about him putting the ball on the floor, as far as I know. So yeah, I like Mitch in this matchup. I see Mitch will have like a double-double with a block or two. I said dominate. I don't know about dominate, but I think Mitch will win this battle.
Gotcha. Tony?
Yeah, I'm going Mitch too. I like Miles, but he's gonna have to, for him to win, he's gonna have to have some aggression and be motivated. He doesn't seem to ever like take command. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that plays to Mitch's advantage. Granted, Mitch is not the guy who's gonna say, "Give me the ball and let me do this." But if Mitch just plays his regular game, does what he does best, and Miles is not aggressive, I'm gonna say Mitch wins the matchup overall, and Miles may have put up better numbers, but when I say Mitch wins the matchup, is he's still gonna do what he does, and we win the game.
Gotcha. Andy?
Yeah, this is a tough matchup as well for me because for one, I would love to say it's gonna be Mitch, but it's more depending on what kind of game Miles Turner is gonna have. I watched a couple of games of the Pacers, not only this season but the last season, and I'm not gonna lie, the most how do you say it, inconsistent player on that squad is actually Miles Turner. You never know what kind of game you can have from him. He can have a 2020 game. The next game he can have like 10 points and 5-6 rebounds. The blocks are pretty consistent, but the rest of the stats, we never know. He also, versus I don't know the exact description of the center or the offense ran at him. He really fouls in bunches. He can have like 2-3 fouls even in a row on a play. So I was shocked. He has some kind of IQ problems when he's on the court, and it's only a couple of games that you can notice it. But it's like we always say, it depends what kind of game he can have. So I would love to go with Mitch, but if he's gonna have one of those major games, it might be hard to go with Mitch on this one.
I think this is a very sneaky matchup for Mitchell Robinson. I totally agree. Because you don't know the type of mouse turner you're gonna get. And I think Mitchell Robinson kind of hears those people out there chirping saying that, we'd rather have Miles Turner over you. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is going to be a test for Mitchell Robinson. We've seen Mitchell Robinson do great against centers like Joel Embiid, which that says a lot. You know what I mean? The type of defense that we threw at him. And I think Mitchell Robinson, to me, that was his best defensive game as a Knick, in my opinion. And then we've seen him struggle against centers like Jonas Valanciunas, right, who can be able to step out a little bit and grab rebounds. So I think this is going to be a very tricky matchup, and we definitely got to take a look at that matchup for sure. All right. One last time, ladies and gentlemen, these are the start lineups for tonight. And now that we're done talking about the start lineups, we're going to get into some of the box scores and the stats from both these teams this season, right? So obviously the New York Knicks taking on the Indiana Pacers. New York Knicks scoring 115.1 points per game. Indiana Pacers scoring 111. Okay. Rebounds, pretty similar at about 45 rebounds a game. We have the slight edge. And as far as 0.3. Assists per game, the Knicks are trailing the Indiana Pacers at 23.3, Pacers at 24.9. Steals per game, pretty much the same at 7 per game. Blocks, pretty much the same at 6 per game. Turnovers, Indiana Pacers turn over the basketball a little bit more than the New York Knicks, which is going to be, for me, a big focus in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Last game, we had 16 turnovers that led to 21 fast break points for the Toronto Raptors. So we got to be able to take care of the basketball, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about that. Field goal percentage, we're shooting dead even at 46.5% per game. 3-point percentage, we are shooting 40.8, and the Pacers are shooting 35.6. And free throw percentage, we definitely got to knock our free throws down as well, ladies and gentlemen. The Pacers are winning that matchup 78% to 73.2. As far as the team leaders, Julius Randle obviously leads us in points, rebounds, and assists, and blocks as well. Same for Domantas Sabonis, who leads the team in points, rebounds, assists. Advantage goes to TJ McConnell, and for blocks, that advantage goes to Miles Turner for the Indiana Pacers. So, gentlemen, I'll start off with you, Tony. What do you think about these numbers right here? Is there any number that sticks out to you in regards to this matchup? Anything that you want to focus on tonight?
If we win the turnover matchup, the rebound matchup, I think that'll give us our best shot. And I'm definitely concerned with our free throw shooting overall this season. We got to get close to 80, as a team. We have to reach that level to be successful. A lot of our guys are missing free throws too. So it's not even like one or two guys. It's a lot of them. So yeah, free throws. I'll include free throws in there. Get to the line, but shoot 80% or better. Out rebound them, and low turnovers, and we'll be all right.
Andy?
Yeah, just to add to what Tony said, I think the assists, the assist number is going to be key here. If we're going to move the ball, we're going to get easy assists. And, I didn't hear any Knick fans say that we lost this game because we moved the ball. So I would be happy to see, the Knicks move the ball, like even overpass. They need that kind of a game where they show trust in each other so much that we're going to be, sitting before our, TV sets and laptops, whatever, and be like, take that shot. That I would be happy with that. So I'm going to say, except the rebound and, 3-point percentage, I'm going to add the assist total.
Gotcha. So for me, I'm looking at the free throw percentage and I'm looking at the turnovers. Both of those things we can definitely control. Personally, I feel like there's no reason why, with the amount of shooting that we have on this team, that our free throw percentage is so low. I definitely would have thought that the next free throw percentage should be way better, particularly since they're shooting the ball so well, and we got guys that can knock down shots. RJ Barrett's a better free throw shooter now. Our free throw percentage should be way higher than that. So I'm looking at that. And turnovers, obviously we cannot have turnovers, and the turnovers are coming from our veterans, right? It's coming from Kemba Walker. It's coming from Evan Fournier. It's coming from Alec Burks. It's coming from Julius Randle. All these guys, who've been around the NBA for a long time, turn the basketball over. So that shows a lack of discipline. So I'm definitely expecting the Knicks to do better with that stat right there. And then here at the bottom, we're looking at points in the paint, second chance points, and fast break points. And then the Pacers are definitely winning this battle in all three of those categories. The fact that we turn the ball over so much can lead to them getting in and out in transition a little bit more. So we definitely have to stop turning over the basketball. For me, that's number one. Second chance points is a big one. They got us about 3 points per game in that particular category. So that shows that this team can be able to rebound and they can be able to go after loose balls. This team can hustle and get some extra shots up. And points in the paint, they're definitely winning that matchup. By at least 6 points per game. What do you guys think about those numbers right there? Points in the paint, second chance points, and fast break points. I'll start with Tony.
Man, we got to get better fast break. And we got to get better at, I'm going to say, defensive rebounds, really stopping the other team from getting second chance points. We haven't peaked, but I think we're on our way. This would be a good time to take advantage. I think we have the height advantage down low, so we need to take advantage of that. I will say this: RJ Barrett, he's been boxing out like crazy, and I think that's a new thing he implemented. I haven't seen him box out like he's been boxing out this year. Whether he gets the ball or he just opens it up for somebody else to run down and get it. But I think we got the advantage for the most part. I think we'll be fine.
Gotcha. Andy?
Listen, if we're gonna lose in all of these three categories, we're gonna lose the game. and this is really possible if you think about it. Knicks are basically the first season that they're looking even to get in the fast breaks. Second chance points, you first got to get that offensive rebound, which not always the Knicks are even crashing the board on the offense. Like Julius last two games, he wasn't even concentrated on that. And the points in the paint, I think this is the battle that we can lose and still win the game, because Sabonis tends to score from the paint a little bit more than Julius. So
Right.
As the main guys on both teams, I think if we lose even the battle in the paint as far as points go, I think we can still get the dub. But if we lose in all three of these categories, I don't see a good night's sleep for us.
Right. So I just want to comment on the points in the paint thing. And this is specifically the reason why I feel like Julius Randle needs to start working in the paint a little bit more and using his strength to get some points in there, because I feel like, there's not going to be too many people to stop Julius Randle in the paint. Right. So that's one of the reasons why I want to see him get down there. And also our guards, our penetration has not been there. Kemba Walker has not been doing the best at penetrating. Kemba Walker has been, knocking down his 3-point shot. But as far as penetrating and getting into the lane, we really haven't been doing that this season, outside of Derrick Rose, really. RJ Barrett, definitely can get into the paint and score. He's definitely developed some finishing skills around the basket. But outside of those two guys, we really haven't done that much. So I'm going to say Knicks kind of get back to that. And also, second chance points. We got to be able to group rebound. Group rebounding was one of the things that Tom Thibodeau outlined in the preseason and training camp. That's one of the things that he wanted to implement for this team. And so far, in the last couple games or so, in a lot of games this season, we haven't been getting to those rebounds and group rebounding. So I'm going to see the Knicks kind of get back to that, secure those boards, and prevent, Indiana from getting those second chance points today. So with that being said, I kind of want to get into the keys of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The keys to the game, right? Do not take the Pacers for granted. Even though this team is 2-6, they play some tough teams, and the Knicks have been struggling lately. So we got to get back to playing our style of basketball, getting up and down the court a little bit more, and not taking any team for granted, no matter what their record is. And with that being said, you have to play a full 48 minutes, people. Full 48 minutes. You can't be good one quarter and then for the rest of the game kind of taper off. For the entire 48 minutes of the basketball game, every quarter, every play, you have to win those little small moments. And that includes crunch time as well. So play a full 48 minutes. Number 3, defensive effort and execution. Defensive effort and execution. The Knicks, are not the same defensive team they were last season, right? That's obvious. They're not playing with the same amount of, I'm going to say, vigor, so to speak, right? So we got to get back to playing defensive basketball. I know we don't have the players to do so, but if we play as a team on a defensive end, try to draw some more turnovers, I think that we can be able to beat any team, because I'm not really concerned with our offense that much. Ball and player movement, something that is huge. You hear Clyde Frazier talking about it all the time. You hear Sim talking about it all the time. Moving, definitely moving with the pass. Being able to, just basically become more fluid on offense and defense, ball and player movement. And my key to the game, this is the one I put in here, playing with pace. We're going to talk about this a little bit more. Playing with pace. The Knicks are currently 27th in the NBA in pace right now after being top 10 in the preseason. So what do you guys think about us playing with pace? Why do you think our numbers have gone down to the way they are? And what can we do to improve it? I'll start with Tony.
Well, number one, we got to get turnovers. Like that's the easiest way to get on a fast break is get some turnovers. Another part of it is I think Obi's decline in minutes. I think he was a big part of getting some easy points every game early in the season. And his minutes have declined. So either somebody else is going to have to pick up that role of actually running down the court and making himself available for a fast break. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. You're going to need turnovers. I think it will get better. I don't think that's where we're going to end up in 27th. I think I think we could at least end up under 20th in pace. And I'll take that.
Gotcha. Andy?
Yeah. Well, listen. I think the Knicks aren't going to be, above 20 in this category. Why? Because there are plenty of factors. When we rebound on defense, we never look to start the fast break with a long pass. I don't know if we saw this season maybe one pass like that. So, and it always depends because most of the rebounds come from Mitch, and he looks for the point guard to come and get the ball straight up from his hands. He rarely even passes it to him. It's just like like a quarterback taking the ball from the offense, right? So that's one. The second thing is our best offensive players in RJ and Julius, they aren't really fast. So you don't see them leaking out. RJ a little bit more this season, but when he is, trying to take the ball from coast to coast, he's still not that fast. He's more crafty. He finishes with a Euro step, try to get contact on the rim, but he's not like Obi fast that he just leaks out to the wing and cuts to the basket. So that probably is going to be a hard thing to develop with the Knicks. And I think the more fast break points that Knicks can get is actually when the bench is on, because D-Rose, he looks to start that offense really fast and get that easy bucket. But the bench is playing only a couple of minutes a game, so most of the offense goes still through Randall, and that I think that might be maybe not the problem because that's the wrong word, but that's just the offense that the Knicks are going to be playing. So.
Got you. So for me, yes, I think transition is important. That lineup where we have that small ball lineup, that lineup definitely gets out and run because they kind of bring a different element to the game, right? We get defensive stops with that lineup. Production wise, that's probably the second best lineup that we have when we have Obi and Julius on the court at the same time. But the thing for me that I'm thinking about when I think about pace is not just transition, but also getting more shots up earlier in the shot clock, making better decisions, within the shot clock, even when you're playing in the half court. I just seen the ball kind of stick to players' hands a little bit. Players are kind of indecisive. They don't know what they want to do with the basketball. So for me, I'm going to see the Knicks basically, be very fluid and thorough with their offensive sets. If a guy's open, take the shot, take the jump shot, get more shots up earlier.
A lot of extra passes too.
Yeah, just a lot of extra passes.
Turning down shots where, you might have, you could have got it up quicker if you took the first shot instead of looking for the third or fourth one.
Right, exactly. So, becoming more fluid with that. I think in the preseason when the Knicks were top 10 in offense, you just kind of seen guys just shooting the basketball, open shots, you know what I mean? And they were knocking those shots down. So I want to see the Knicks kind of get back to that. Um, as far as the injury report, this is the one from ESPN.com. I'm going to show that right there. This is as of yesterday, you know what I mean? So we don't know if this is going to be today, but Taj Gibson is listed as day-to-day. Nerlens Noel is listed as out. Again, we don't know what Nerlens Noel's problem is. Still rehabbing from his injury. And then for the Indiana Pacers, obviously we spoke about Malcolm Brogdon already. This was as of yesterday, and Jeremy Lamb is also out for the Indiana Pacers as well. I don't know what the deal is with Nerlens Noel. You guys want to elaborate on that or comment on Nerlens Noel's injuries a little bit?
It's definitely concerning. I know you don't agree as much as I do as far as the need for him, but I think we need him. I think he solidifies our blocking ability in that second unit. That's something we lose or we don't have when Mitch is not on the floor. Definitely concerning. More concerned that it feels like it's secretive. It feels like we're not getting information on it. So I don't understand why that is. So
Right.
a little concerned.
Gotcha. Andy?
Listen, I actually think that I read somewhere at least that Noel might be available for this game. So
Okay.
I'm not sure, but listen, I think he's just hurt. I don't think we have to find a second
A conspiracy?
explanation for him just being out, right? And listen, if he has a hamstring injury, those injuries tend to linger, and coming back from them a little bit too fast makes you go to a setback, right? So I think they're really careful with this. I would see more of an urgency for Netherlands on the court if Mitch got hurt. But since Mitch is getting minutes, Taj,
Taj is
is
out.
sparing at least couple of minutes, and we got Jericho Sims, and we know that Taj got a little. I know that twisted his ankle or something, but I think for a couple of minutes, and we can also always go a couple of minutes also with the small ball lineup, right, where Julius had the 5 and Obi had the 4. So I think I don't think there's that kind of a urgency. I don't think Netherlands is that good that we have to look so forward for him to play.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much.
But but listen, it's better to have everyone healthy than at least even one guy sick, right? So
Gotcha. So I'm reading in the chat right now in the comments, and people are saying that TJ Warren is going to play tonight. I didn't see him on the injury report, so they might have TJ Warren there. Also, I think it was Jarrell saying that Taj and Noel are both playing today. So we might have both of that. So I don't think I don't know how that might change the dynamic of the game so much. But TJ Warren is a really good player. I still think he's a really good player. And our wings and guards are going to have to do a really good job of defending both Karis LeVert and TJ Warren. So any thoughts, any prediction for the game tonight, Andy? I'm going to start with you. Prediction and stuff that you're looking forward to see tonight.
Listen, after our start like 4-1, I was thinking we're gonna go to like 8-2 at least. Now we're 5-2, so we don't have much of a cushion if my prediction would be good still. So listen, I think the Pacers, this might be one of the toughest games that we had actually this season. Like you said, Pacers played really, really good teams, and they get a W versus the Heat, and that was an overtime game, and they had guys out in that game. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks won this game. Lost this game, but I still hope they're gonna win. And listen, I think Julius has to have one of these wake up games really fast. For us to become the team that we want to see. A steady lock on that playoff spot. I think Julius has to wake up really fast. And two bad games, let's call it bad games from him, like with his head not on the court, I think it's that, you know, the I think that should be cut, and this game should be a great game from Julius.
Tony?
Before I give a prediction, I do want to add a key to the game is definitely going to be our bench play. Our bench did not perform well last game. I think that's a huge part of why we lost that game. Maybe a little bit that wasn't talked about enough, I think, amongst us. So the bench is gonna have to step up. Rose had a rare off night last game. Like usually, if nothing else fails, we could count on Rose to produce, be productive in his minutes, and he wasn't last game. So I just wanted to add that in as a important key to the game. Second unit. As far as a prediction, I think we win. I think it's gonna be a close one though. I think it's a maybe 1-2 possession game, but by the end, but we squeak out a win.
Got you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Podfather. He is on his vacation in Jamaica. It's nice and beautiful outside. It's freezing cold out here on the East Coast, but this man out there living in 90-degree weather. Sim, what's going on with you?
It's actually raining right now, but you can hear me good. You can hear me clear.
Yeah, we good, man. We good.
Yeah. I tried to log in a couple of times, but the internet wasn't good, so I had to upgrade the internet to make sure that I could log in and do whatever, because we got some other things we got to do. But man, it's nice. We almost didn't make it to the resort because they drive a little bit crazy out here, but
Oh yeah, no question about that. Sim, what's your thoughts on the game tonight? Indiana versus the Knicks.
Oh man, I don't even know. I didn't even get a chance to really do any background research and figure out, look at the Indiana Pacers. So really, I'm just kind of focusing on what the Knicks need to do. I'll say this. My key matchup is obviously Julius Randle and Domantas Sabonis.
No question. Yep.
And if Julius Randle doesn't come to play, then Domantas Sabonis is going to eat his food. Kareem is always talking about barbecue chicken. Since I'm in Jamaica, I'm gonna say jerk chicken. All right. If he don't come to play, it's gonna be jerk chicken for Julius Randle tonight. You know what I'm saying? So he better come and he better come to play. And I don't know exactly what's happening. I don't want to try to say speculate. Yeah, good. Thank you for the word. Speculate on everything that's happening. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, going up against a guy like Domantas Sabonis puts a little bit of fire under him, and he's ready to come out and ball.
Totally agree with that.
Sam, I think they had a rivalry dating back to last season. So I'm hoping that continues and Randle kind of gets up for this matchup if not the game itself. So hopefully that that happens and works in our favor. And enjoy yourself out there, man. I want to see how dark you get by the next stream and the next stream.
Probably will, because I was me and my wife both was all we were doing is walking from the main entrance to the pool when we started getting darker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally hear that. Sam, definitely enjoy yourself out there. But listen, I think Julius Randle's going to come to play tonight. You know what I mean? I think he hears a lot of people talking. He typically does well against the Indiana Pacers, just like RJ Barrett does. So I expect, Julius Randle to come out and perform. The Knicks are undefeated on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that's another stat to throw out there as well. I know I mentioned earlier that the game was at Madison Square Garden. It is actually at the Fieldhouse in Indiana tonight at 7 o'clock. So definitely tune in for that. So we're looking forward to this matchup. I think it's going to be a really good matchup for the Knicks, and I think they come out and they win this game. They're going to win this game, to me, by 10 points or higher. The Knicks are going to put people on notice and put the Eastern Conference back on notice that, we are the team who we are. We were 5-2 for a reason. So that's what my prediction I'm going to go with for this particular game. And I'm going to say that the bench plays better. Our bench has not been doing that well to start the season. It was supposed to be one of our strong suits, but it really hasn't given us any type of production outside of Derrick Rose. Quickly, Burks, Obi's, starting to take that next step a little bit, but we need to have our bench definitely step up. No question about that. Our bench definitely has to be better. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam. Go
Josh,
ahead.
I agree. I agree. I think the bench definitely has to be. They've got to be a big part of everything that we're doing. If they're supposed to be the unit with the most chemistry right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're supposed to be the unit with the most chemistry. The previous game, they didn't show it at all. I mean, I don't even know if they scored 25 points collectively in the previous game. So, they've really got to come out and play tonight. I think RJ is going to have another good game. I feel like he's building confidence as we go. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to come out and have another good game. I'd like to see him and Randall have a really good game together.
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of see what that looks like. That'd be
right.
That'd be great if they can come out and have a good game together. Now, the defense, I don't know how many points is Indiana averaging per game.
111, I believe.
111.
We're at 115. They're at 111.
But as we know, that never really matters with
Right.
us.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like they're averaging 111. We haven't been stopping teams, so
Right.
you can imagine. They're gonna probably get 111 or even more. If we don't really come out and make a conceded effort on the defensive side of the basketball.
Totally agree with. Yep.
Yeah, I think over the the Pelicans, we held them to 104. I forgot who we played before the Pelicans. Who was that? Who did we play before the Pelicans? We held them to 99, I think it was.
Orlando?
That Philadelphia? I think
Philly.
that might have been Philadelphia.
Oh, it's Philly,
we held Philadelphia to
Yeah.
99. Then we held Indiana to 104. The last two games, though, we've given up 117 to the Pelicans. We held Chicago to 103. I'm sorry. We held Philadelphia to 99. We held Chicago to 103. And then we gave up 117 to the Pelicans, who were only scoring 102 points per game when we came in.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then we just gave up 100 and what did we give up to Toronto the other night?
112 or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, 112.
Right. And they were only averaging 104 coming into the game. So it's like,
right.
We let those guys score 10 points higher than what they normally score.
Right.
And the Pelicans even more than that. So some of it may be due to the Knicks playing or shooting more shots. Right. I think some of it is due to that because the more shots we shoot, the more possessions the other team is naturally going to have.
Right. More possessions.
And then some of it is more possessions, and then some of it is bad defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm like Sam. I'm likely to pick the latter. I don't think our defense has been that great, to be honest with you. And and I know that we're shooting a lot more shots now, but we have to get better on the defensive side of the ball. Enough of those excuses. Last year was last year. This team is not the same team they were last year defensively. They were just not. So I think Thibodeau has to come up with some sort of scheme to try to get back to playing our style of basketball. I thought Toronto was going to come in and play some more zone defense against us. They didn't do any of that. They played up straight up man to man, fighting around curls. They were just a phenomenal, and they hustled. So I want to see the Knicks kind of get back to that, kind of wanting it, that effort on the defensive side of the ball. Right now, we're just getting beat bad, to be honest with you.
And I don't think teams are going to play us in zone for long, right? Because we got guys that can shoot the ball. So if they stay in a zone for a long time, eventually we're going to score. Because we got guys that can shoot the basketball. So they're going to spread it out. We're going to score inside and outside. So they may go to a zone a little bit to make us think, but, they're going to go right back to man for the most part, I believe. Defensively is where we got to get it. We can score. Well, last game we didn't score the ball well. We only shot 75 shots last game. 75 attempts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we shot better than Toronto from the field and from the 3-point line, but we only took 75 attempts because we turned the ball over, and the defense that they played was suffocating.
Oh yeah.
So it was hard for us to score. And that's one thing that I get scared about with this team is I think we have trouble playing through aggressive defenses.
Mhm.
When a team plays that aggressive style of defense, I think we clam up a little bit. We get a little bit nervous. We don't handle the ball as well. Our handoffs aren't crisp. Our passes aren't crisp. We allow teams to get in, and tip the basketball, and then it throws us off of everything that we try to do. And I think teams have seen that if you play us aggressively and physically, it can throw us off what we do.
Got you. No question about that. So tonight, the Knicks are obviously going to be on the road, 7 p.m. The game against the Indiana Pacers. We're pretty much going to close it out right now, but we're going to go for some last words. I'm going to start it off with Andy. Last words.
Yeah, Josh, I hope the Knicks get a W because, I'm too stressed about these, close games. And if it ends in a loss, I can't sleep. So, and this week I'm watching the games live because, we already switch an hour in Poland. So the games are 1 hour earlier. So they start on midnight. So, I can watch the game till like 3 and then just go to bed. So
Right.
I'm watching these games live. If we lose today's game, I'm not watching the next games just to check if I'm the bad luck charm. So
Got you. Tony?
I just want to reiterate that the point about the bench, man. We need our bench. They are a big part of what we want to do. And then specifically Derrick Rose. I think that might have been his first like bad game, but I think he's the leader in that second unit, and I think he's been holding the second unit down. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of good production from Burks or Quickly. We've seen good stretches from Obi. We've seen Obi, playing a lot better. He doesn't seem lost, but his minutes are limited. And then, we're missing Noel again. Taj has been stellar for us, whether it be starting or off the bench, but we can't just rely on Rose um and Taj. We need Quickly to shape up into form. We need Burks to shape up into form. Um and a lot of people say we need Obi with more minutes. I just think Obi needs to stay on the path that he's on and be productive in whatever minutes he gets. But I think bench is going to be key tonight. Last word. Shout out to the chat. Sim, Josh, Andy, appreciate you guys. Yo, Black, it's time. You're ready.
All right, Sam, go ahead. Close us out.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Josh, Andy, Tony, and Steph for stepping in and doing the pregame show. I really appreciate it. So I thank you guys for that.
You gotta bring back one of them coconuts, Sam. You gotta bring them back.
Yeah, I will be on the post game show tonight. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I do want to answer this one question. Sincere the Genius says, Sim, what do you think the Knicks can do to get over that? Meaning those aggressive defenses. I think one of the things the Knicks can do is attack those aggressive defenses. You can attack it by penetrating to the basket, but you can also attack it by backdoor cuts, backdoor screens. You know what I'm saying? And now, when you start to hit the back door, they got to play off you a little bit. They can't play as tight. You know what I'm saying? And then if they're playing really tight on the ball handler, go to the cup. You know what I mean? I think, and this is a time when isolation really does come into effect. A team is playing you super, super tight. They're playing Kemba Walker. They're playing Kemba Walker super duper tight. Spread it out. Let them go to the cup. I'm saying everybody, you can do a 1-4 set. Kemba Walker at the top of the key, and everybody else down the baseline, and let Kemba Walker go for it, or Derrick Rose, or whoever it is. That's a time when you can do an isolation you want to just call out isolation and let them go because they're playing so aggressive. Now, guess what? They say, well, we better step back. So there's ways to defeat it and make teams step back off you, but the Knicks got to do something and figure out. Excuse me. They got to do something and figure out how to defeat these aggressive defenses. But with that being said, man, I want to see the Knicks come out with energy, especially Julius Randle, come out and play with that energy tonight that we know that they're going to need. I think they will come out and play with energy. I think that they will win tonight's game because I don't think that they feel good about the previous loss. Tom Thibodeau got all up in them about that loss and the way that they played. So I think they will come out and play better. I do think it's going to be a tough game, though. I don't think Indiana is as bad as what are they 2-6?
2-4. Yeah.
I don't think they're as bad as being 2-6. I think they're going to be better than that. You know what I mean? And being 2-6, they're going to be desperate for a win. I think the Knicks should feel desperate for a win, so I think it's going to be a battle. I'm looking forward. Malcolm Brogdon is playing.
As of right now, yes, he is playing. Supposedly, he is playing.
Yeah. We need Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's going to have to play some defense, but he's also going to have to put some pressure on Malcolm Brogdon. That could be a troublesome matchup for Kemba Walker.
I think T.J. Warren's playing too.
T.J. Warren's playing too. Whew.
I think so.
And Karis LeVert. So.
Yeah. This could be now. Where the Knicks could have an advantage is those guys coming back. Maybe they're not fully in sync, but then they could also come back and just be hot because I know plenty of times when I'm playing, when I haven't played for a while and then I step on the court, I feel good. Then it takes a game or two till I start to, slump off, and then have to come back. So we'll see. Could be a very interesting game, man. Very interesting.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We predict, it's going to be a tough game for us tonight. I'm going to say something right now. Julius Randle's going for 30, y'all. Julius Randle's going for 30 tonight. I'm calling it right now. Thanks for tuning in with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys on the post-game show. And we are gone, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
And BK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. Tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.